You're watching Coast Life, and maybe sometimes you've been scrolling through social media, and I know for a while a popular TikTok there was like conversations you would have with your younger self.
Oh.
And I feel like a lot of us maybe sometimes stop and think, especially as you get a little older, you're like, what could I have done like differently growing up that maybe, or maybe just something that you wish your younger self knew?
A lot of things. A lot of things. Like simple things, right? From like clothes, hairstyles. I'm like, why did you do that? Spending money on dumb things. Sometimes I think back, I'm like, if I just didn't buy all those slip and slides in college, like I would have so much
slip
money.
And slides did you buy in
Leah,
college?
too many. Too many. Like at least 3.
That is probably more than the average person buys in college. Yeah, I would say.
Just my senior year too. That's serious.
Nice. I guess, if I had to pick advice for my younger self, which again, I feel like this advice also changes as you get older. And I think this, like now my piece of advice to younger me would be, you don't have to be good at something to enjoy it. Because I feel like that is one that I get so hung up on. Like if I'm not immediately good at it, I'm like, well, it's not for me.
Done.
Even though it is something that like I really enjoy, but like I'll get disheartened a lot with my art sometimes where I'm like, it's not doing what I want it to. Yeah.
No, you're a good artist. I love the 2 answers we had here. Yours was very deep and mine was not.
But we always want to get your answers. That's why our field correspondent, Maya Henry, is hitting the boards to figure out your answer to the advice that you would give to your younger self.
Paige and Leah, some word of advice that I would give my younger self is to stay true to yourself and always follow your heart. But I'm currently about to go stroll down the Rehoboth Beach Boardwalk to see what advice other people would give their younger self and how does it affect them today.
2 things, take care of your body and don't procrastinate to find Jesus.
So what are you doing with that new information that you found? Staying healthy and, sticking with your relationship and religion.
I exercise my legs, my back, and my hips, and I try to eat healthy, and the portion control is a big thing. You can lose a lot of weight without even exercising if you cut down your portions.
For your younger self, what are the kinds of things that you were doing that you kind of regret or wish you didn't do?
Sat in the office chair way too long. It's nice to be in the corporate world, but if you can have a more active position like you folks, you're better off.
Anybody that has a job that you're sitting a little bit too much, Miss Sue says, might think about changing it for your health.
Oh wow, I would definitely tell myself, you're gonna do it just right. Don't worry about a thing, follow your heart, do what you feel like you wanna do, and it'll all work out. And guess what? It did.
So what kind of things have you done?
Oh my, you'd think I had a very full life. I flew airplanes since I was a kid. My dad was a pilot. I was a music major in college. And I was a truck driver for some years. I owned a Dairy Queen store. I was a professional skier and snowboarder for 35 years. I rock climbed, lived around the country. I've had a really a very widely varied life.
So for those people who are thinking about doing like a lot of things, but they always say, I don't have time, I don't have the patience or the skills, what would you say to them?
I've always lived in the spur of the moment. If something strikes me like, do this now, I drop what I'm doing and go and do it, because you may never get a chance to do that again. And you never know in the middle of doing something like that when some opportunity is going to present itself to you, and you walk through that door and literally your life can change on a dime. And mine did so many times, and every time it was for the better.
Well, I am asked that question more than you might realize, and I would say never quit.
Never quit. That's a good one.
Probably started when I was in the service, which was back in the late 60s. And it was Vietnam, and none of us really wanted to be there. And it was something that kept us all going.
And how about you, Laura?
I'm going to be cliche and say work-life balance. It took me a long time to get to that, and running ragged, and so now make sure you take your time off.
And for any other younger people that might be going through something, either one of you guys, what is something that you would tell them to keep on going?
I tell people you never know what you can do. You think you can't. And in fact, people have told me, well, I couldn't do that. And I said, when you have to, you will. And it's true. And so a lot of these folks that are having a hard time, and as a neurosurgeon, I took care of a lot of people with brain tumors, and the patients actually did pretty well. The families were so distraught, it was awkward. But I would tell them, you will get through this, and you will be all right, and it's true.
I love how their answers are kind of like ours. Some are
Yes.
a little funny, and some are really sweit and sentimental.
Well, you always have to take, the funny and the serious in
Yes.
life, and that's life.
That's life, baby. That's right. But we are getting a little serious coming up later in Coast Life because we're talking about Get Home Safely tip. It's Tuesday. I hope you didn't forget. So we're going to help you get home safe when we come back.